Greetings! This is my 3-day survival run on Interloper. So, I just kind of want to show what it takes to survive at least one day and then try to survive longer. I got pretty lucky on this spawn. Out of all my attempts at this Interloper difficulty, this has been the best. I spawned in Muskeg. It's still pretty far out there, and this region is pretty hostile. There's a lot of wolves. There's at least 2 bears that I've seen, and there's not much in terms of buildings or shelter. But for this challenge, I think it's a really nice spawn. So I'm just trying to figure out where in the region I'm at. If I can find the train tracks, which are right there, I know where I'm at. Train tracks run straight down the middle of the region, and along the tracks you can find a bunch of cattails. Sometimes there's like a wood or coal. Looks like I spawned at the very end. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to go into the the wreck train station or wreck train stop area, because the transition is right here, and there's a nice quick open field where a corpse and a container can spawn. So I'm just going to go check that real quick. Pretty straightforward, just got to follow the tracks. Kind of looking around, see if I can loot anything, but I'm just going to go straight to this transition point. I'm going to pick up some rocks too, just in case. Broken railroad, that's what it is. So the railroad, you can see where it ends. There's a mudslide that takes out the tracks. But I just hug along the left. And right here is where usually something spawns. This time it's a wolf. So I'm going to hightail it out of there. I could climb over that mudslide. There's more loot locations there, including the broken station. There's a lot of loot containers in there, but there's also a lot of wolves. So I'm just gonna back out. I haven't lost too much health condition, so I'm just gonna go back. I think it's much safer if I go back toward back to the Muskeg and then head over to the lake. So over to my left, there's a trapper's lookout. It's just a little shack. There it is. Just follow along the water. There's a bear too. But there's some cattails here, and usually some kind of loot. I'm hoping for matches, of course. That's always the hardest thing. Once you find matches, it's all about maximizing your time. I'm just looking around, make sure there aren't any wolves or anything else. And you can tell by the bones this is not a friendly place. Let's find some fuel, some cedar, but nothing in the backpack. I didn't check the railings, the little ledge on the shack. There's sometimes an item on there. There's a wolf. So I'm just going to back up. And it's tempting to just run across the ice, but it's very brittle here. I don't weigh very much, so it's not going to crack easily, but it will crack. So the best thing to do is, what I'm doing right here, is just run between the patches of snow. Just run it. I'm trying to avoid that bear, otherwise I'd just stick to the tracks, but I have to come through here. And I'm okay. Pretty much safe here. From the ice, the breaking ice. So I'm just going to follow these tracks, and eventually I'll find a derailed car, a bunch of derailed cars. And around the cars there's usually a bunch of stuff, like coal. I try to go up this tree to look around, make sure there aren't any predators around, but can't climb it. At least not that side. This car is open. It's the only car that's open. And I find my flare, so I can start a fire. Find some other stuff, some coal, and some matches. Scrap metal. Never gonna use that. Find a jacket, put that on real quick. That's an angry clown lady. Take my lucky coal. And I don't start a fire just yet, because I haven't looked around the cars yet. So I'm just going to have a look, see if I can find anything. There's a bear. So I go around to the other side, picking up sticks. I don't think I found any fuel, but I did find a can of soup and some scrap metal, which I'll never use. That's another bear. So I'm just going to go underneath the linkage here. Don't find anything else. Drop that metal. I shouldn't even picked it up. Get the fire going. So I'm going to heat up these the soup to get the warming buff, the hydration and calories, and start cooking up water. And I'm gonna eat while I'm warming up. Soup's done. Down that. Go back to eating. Alright, so I'm going to grab a torch here to preserve some of my matches. Looking at the timers here. Just trying to see what I can get done before I have to move. There's no sleeping spot here, so I have to move. I have to get out. It's pretty straightforward, just follow the tracks. Eventually you'll hit the transition point. Really nice spawn for this difficulty. And right there to the right of the tracks there was what I'm guessing was some cedar, but the game said no. You don't get that. Just outside the tunnel to the left, there's always that bush, and then a loot container. I got 2 this time. But of course they're empty. Down there on the tracks there's a wolf. But I'm not going down the tracks just yet. I'm going to check out this clearing just down there. There's a corpse. Further down to my right, kind of looking at it there, there's a little hut, dilapidated barn. There's some more loot stuff there, but it's getting very, very cold. So I'm just going to stick to the left. There's another body. Nothing on him, of course. And some feathers. Shouldn't bother picking those up. Never get a chance to use them. So further down to the left, there's I think there's a cave. I think rabbits spawn over there, but I'm more interested in finding the trapper's cabin, which is just over this ledge, this hill. Oh, never mind. I have to go through another one. You can see it there in the distance, but there's this clearing has another body. This is Max's last stand. Didn't have anything. Alright. Again, shouldn't bother with the feathers, but for some reason I got into my head to pick them up, so whatever. But there's a cabin. Just checking for wolves. There shouldn't be any wolves here. There's deer, and there should be some rabbits around, but I have no time for it. My health condition is it's just too low. I've always found this carcass there, but it's frozen. Nothing I could do about it. Not right now, anyway. And I always check here, but I never seem to find anything. There's also a shelf. I didn't look at the shelf. I doubt there'd be anything there. So straight to the cabin. Now it's pretty dark. I can just about see, but not well enough to check all the nooks and crannies. Take some lucky coal. Cooking pot, that's good. So I think I tried to loot around. I couldn't really see. So turn on the torch. Just try to do a quick look around. It's warm enough that I could spend some time looting. Find a little granola bar tucked in the back there. Find a hammer. That's nice. Could break down some furniture. There's a note. Doesn't really do anything other than lore. Let's finally get to business. Alright, eventually get the fire going. I think it took me a couple tries, but with the torch I was able to relight it. Or I think I had to use matches because this is a stove. I don't think you can use a torch. And I'm trying to add more fuel, but it's kind of tricky getting the thing highlighted right. I get there though. So again, just processing whatever I've collected on the way, getting water boiling, and just simple time management. I'm not in a rush though because I'm indoors, so I'm not going to freeze to death. So just trying to optimize my time. I'm not super sleepy yet, so I'm kind of looking for ways to productively pass time. Like breaking down this newspaper. So I'm just getting a bunch of water ready. Since I have the time, I have the fuel. The coals burn much hotter, so everything cooks faster, including boiling the water. So I just go back and forth, monitoring the times, and then instead of just waiting, trying to be productive. So this might seem like I'm in a good spot, but I have no calories. I have no food. So eventually go to sleep, and I think I finished looting up the cabin here. Still very dark, but I finished eating up the cattails. And then because it's so dark, I'm kind of waiting for day. I'm just passing time doing productive things, prepping these medicines. And that's about it. Weather got real bad too. Just poked my head out to see how bad. It's bad. This is just before dawn too, so I think I decided to just sleep and hope that the weather clears. Alright, so it's light enough. I can finish looting properly. I'm also thinking, because the weather's still shit, so I'm just looking to see what I can do. I decided to crack open this safe. These are pretty easy to do, they don't take too much time. Just write down the numbers for each lock. I already did all that stuff. Except for the last number, I think. Yeah, I'm just crawling. Get there eventually. Get a pry bar. And a little vest thing. That's pretty good. Add another layer. It's really ragged. I do have a sewing kit and some cloth, so I might repair it. Just looking at the percentages. The repair amount is only 25%, so that's pretty crummy compared to some other things. But I decided to use that cloth to make bandages, which I think is the smarter choice. Because I just had that old man's beard dressing. So I'm gonna sleep, pass the time. Hopefully the weather's good. It's good enough. At least it's not super windy. But man, just look at my warmth. It's just plummeting. I can't stay in there though. I'm out of food, so I need to head out. Basically heading back to the train tracks, and where I found that first body. Over to the left, there's a little shack, so I'm gonna go check it out. I have a flare and a torch, so in case anything comes by, I can scare it away. So I found a book. It's good to start fires. Some more lucky coal. And some cooking pots. It's nice to have two. And I'm debating whether to start a fire because I'm freezing. But I would just be starting that fire to get warm. I didn't feel like it was worth it. So I'm just going to move on. If I get back to the train tracks, close by is the lake house, or like a little cabin. I'm going to stop there. Mr. Wolf isn't around either, so it's just a little stroll. Unfortunately, I didn't see any rabbits. That would have been good. But we made it to the house. Hopefully there's some food in here. At the very least I can get warm. I'm gonna grab some of these nips, hips, whatever they are. Make tea. And just search the place. Ransack it. There's enough light to do it. Check high, check low, all through the house. Eventually start a fire. There are 2 stoves in this house, one in the bottom. The one at the bottom only has 1 cooking spot, so the one on the second floor is better, because you get 2. And just the same thing, I managed to find some tea. So same as before, I'm just gonna cook up what I can, make as many teas as I can. And then looking around, I think I do a little bit of inventory management. Kind of see what I found in the house. I think I found that fire starting book. But I only have 4 matches, I didn't find any more. I decided to go outside to get check this body, and I think to get those cattails. There's plenty of cattails here. Some good eating. Unfortunately, there's wolves. So on the lake, there's 4 fishing huts, and the wolves are almost always close to 1. But this hut had quite a bit of stuff, sewing kit, 2 reclaimed wood. I mean, for Interloper, that's a lot. So I'm just going along the edge, collecting cattails, and trying to hit all these huts. Found another book. I keep taking this coal, and I accidentally start mapping. That was a mistake, but I shouldn't even bother. There's almost no reason to map. So on the other side of the lake, there's more cabins. There's 5 in total. And outside the cabins, you'll sometimes find some wood. Some other useful stuff. But inside these huts, these cabins, there's not much. Found a scarf, which is great. But it's mostly just paper and furniture that you can break down. And it's not warm enough that I will regain warmth here, so I just need to keep moving. Check the trash bin. Always check the trash bin. Have a little snack. I'm actually pretty low on calories, so. Bunch of books. Some more newspapers. Checking the trash. Nothing in the containers. Get used to that. It's pretty much nothing. But the books are nice. They increase your chance to start a fire, but they don't last very long. And they're heavy. So here's the other set of little cabins. And the last two fishing huts. Nothing on the corpse as usual. And these are just a mirror of the other huts. Books, papers, the odd item, but nothing special. Down there is the last hut, the last cabin, and the last fishing hut. But there's also a bear down there. And cattails, more cattails. So I kind of have to risk it. I'm not too worried about the cold, since I know I have a warm house on the other side of the lake. I can kind of risk this, but if the bear attacks me, he'll put me down to almost no condition, so I have to be very careful. He's far away enough though. So same thing, just books and paper. Nothing special in here. All the containers are empty. So I think I drank and ate what I had, and now I'm hoping the bear is not close by. He's close enough to that last fishing hut that I can't go for it. So just go to this one. Find some crackers. That's some good calories. I have plenty of water, so those crackers are good. Now the bear is moving away from the hut, but I'm not going to risk it, and it's getting very, very cold. My condition's dropping to like 60%, so I'm just going to check this guy, gather all the cattails here, and then head back to the original cabin. Being mindful of the wolves. So I think that's the last of the cattails. I still have the whole other side of the lake, but it's guarded by wolves. So I just go back into the cabin. And just doing a little inventory management here. I didn't find much. A bunch of cans of spray paint, which is weird. I did find a book though, so I started a fire, started melting more snow, and passing the time reading that book, just so I have a higher chance of starting fires. I'm pretty much out of fuel though. I think I end up breaking down some furniture in here, but for the most part I'm just passing time boiling the water and reading that book, because I'm almost, I think I do hit level 1 of fire starting. And eventually go to sleep. And I survived a day. A day and 16 hours. Already have the achievement for that, so at this point I'm just trying to see how far I can get. And it's not fully day, so I'm looking at my gear. I have 2 sewing kits, and there's a bunch of cloth in this cabin that you can gather by tearing up the blinds and some rags. So I'm just repairing my clothing. Try to get as much warmth out of them as I can. But eventually run out of food. It's time to head out. I packed light. I took just as much water as I could, and then some fire starting stuff like the books and papers. I think I broke down the papers into plugs, but I had so many cattails don't really need it. So go back to the tracks. Just follow the tracks. There's this other car. There's usually a wolf here. That's why I'm busting out my lights. But he's not here. Usually this is a good spot to find stuff. I found a revolver here once. Not on Interloper. All you get is feathers. Alright. There are some containers here though. And this body. There's a frozen deer, but I don't have any tools for that. So just kept going down the tracks. There's this other little car. Usually find food here on other difficulties, but this time around just more spray paint and a book. So on the other side of the tracks, coming from the lake towards the left of that car, there's some more cabins, like little trailers. There's 3 of them, so I'm gonna go check those. So it's just a little trek over that hill, and there should be over here to the left. Now normally there's wolves around here, at least one. Not sure where they are though. So over at these trailers, not much outside. I don't need the extra cooking pot. I already have 2. So let's look inside. Don't expect to find much. Some reclaimed wood. Can't pick up that bedroll, even though it's a bedroll. Make sure to look under the beds. There's pretty much nothing. There's some pants, some jeans, like the worst kind of pants. So over on to the next one. Some accelerant. I have a ton of books, so the accelerant is kind of mute, but it's lighter than a book. I don't think I find anything else. I'm thinking that bit of texture there is something, but it's not. That's a container. Empty, of course. So on to the next one. Do I find it? Oh, there's a little bar, little candy bar. So that's 1 reclaimed wood, a pair of jeans at, what, 60%, and a granola bar. You can break down the furniture in the little wooden boxes, so there's some more reclaimed wood. And it's warm enough now that you won't lose any warmth. So it's going to take a moment to eat and drink. And because my warmth was so low, I decided to stop and read a book. I actually read through the whole fire starting book, and I started reading the gun handling book, but revolvers and rifles don't spawn in Interloper, so there's no point. But it'll make me feel better when I have to burn it, if I use it all up. So the weather got better, and I just went back to the train tracks, followed them down, and here we are at the basically at the entrance of the hydro dam. Down to the left, though, there's a little river, a stream, and there's a ton of cattails down here. So I'm going to pick those up. And I was basically out of food at that point, so the first one I picked, I immediately ate. Luckily, there's a bunch. Fuck. The downside to this area, though, is that there always seems to be a wolf. Sometimes two. But he's up there, I'm down here. I'm kind of safe to continue harvesting. Or foraging. There's a little campfire to the right, underneath the bridge, but there's rarely anything besides that. Further down the stream, there's a body. This always seems to be here. Sometimes there's a deer carcass. And this is a nice area. Normally I make a base here at the dam because there are hunting grounds all over this this little stream. So behind me there's a deer, and to the right of where I'm facing there's either rabbits or more deer. I think always rabbits. But you gotta clear the wolves. That's the only downside. So I'm going to go back up on the safer side to give me a better line of sight for this wolf. I'm going to try to scare it. I could just run into the trailers here. And I panic. I threw a rock at the car. I hit it and it started whining, but the runaway mechanic, I've talked about this before, it's very strange because they run towards you. They won't attack you, but this run was earlier on, and I wasn't fully aware of the mechanics, so I thought it was going to attack me, so that's why I panicked. So it's warm in the truck, so I'm going to eat and drink, then eventually I head out. I'm going to try to scare it again. And I panicked. I beat its skull in, though. It's not going to kill it, though. If I had a knife, that may have been a kill. I'm not sure how much health they have on Interloper. I've yet to kill a wolf on Interloper. So I see it coming back, and I'm trying to hit it with the rocks. Got him that time. I throw another rock trying to pick the other one up, so I gave up. I just went inside. Just checking the warmth of that bed there. Found a can of soup. That's nice. And some dog food. I'll save that for later. And that's about it. Hey, pup. I should have just ran towards the this little thing. Instead, I just looked at it. So I am I'm messed up. I decided to drink this tea and go to bed. I'm not gonna die because I have warmth, so my condition isn't gonna drop. But it sure is annoying. So after sleeping for an hour, my condition got a little bit better, but not enough to get rid of the heartbeat. But at least I'm not wobbling, so I'm just going to fill up my bars. Or my hydration bar, and then just sleep. I still have that improved rest. That's going to last a while. I'm planning to sleep as much as I can, so I'm just going to eat all the food. Or at least the dog food. Go to sleep. I wake up in the middle of an Aurora. And I'm going to put a filter on the video just so you can see. But it is dark. Even with the lights turning on. During an Aurora, certain things get electricity. And like street lights and stuff. But here's a filter. It's still pretty dark. The electricity works, but kind of doesn't as well. It's a really neat effect. It's making the filter go all crazy because it's the strange pulsating lighting. It looks great when it's natural, but I mean, it looks great when you're playing the game. But when I applied this filter, it just throws it off. All the different colors. It's just for this bit, just so you can see what I'm doing. It is dark, like I'm searching in the darkness there. I keep double checking just to make sure. But I'm healthy enough that I'm gonna brave the outside and try to make it into the dam. So the filter's off, so you can see the light. It has this weird blue, green, red, yellow tint. It's really cool. Another benefit of the dam, that gate you can close. It bugs out sometimes. You have to go back into a building and then come back out. It's pretty neat. And it's random too. It doesn't happen every night, and when it does happen, it could last for an hour, it could last for a few minutes. So I'm not putting the filter on, I'm just gonna search what I can with the light that I got here. So I'm just gonna do some searching. Eventually, I have to turn on the torch. The Aurora ended. I think I searched the main room inside the dam there, and that's it. The Aurora stopped. So I'm just running around looking for a lantern. There's a high chance for a lantern to spawn here. So I'm just looking for that. I'm not bothering to check the cabinets, any of the drawers. I'm just looking for a lantern. It's kind of spooky. But there's nothing in here. That'll hurt you. Not that I've seen, anyway. My torch is going out, so I'm going to check these lockers. But of course they're empty. And that's pretty much my torch. I can't see anymore. I did find a flare. Right here I'm debating. Should I just pass time? Or should I strike the flare? Gonna eat while I think, and eventually I decide to use the flare. Now this isn't a terrible idea. It is a shame I'm not going to have this flare to help me against the wolves. But as we saw earlier, I'd rather just take the hit. So again, I'm just looking for that lantern. I'm not going to search too deep into the drawers. And I'm also thinking that if I do find a lantern, I can use the torch to light the barrel that's down here. So it's not a complete waste. So there's the fire barrel. Just debating what to do. So I get the fire going, and then I think I continue searching for that lantern. I'm also looking to see at the timers to break things down to get more wood. These planks are the best. If I had a hatchet, that would have been like 9 minutes, maybe less. So I want to maximize this flare, so I'm a little kind of panicky, just in a hurry. But I don't want to waste this fire, so I get to cooking. I did search around with that flare, but I was only able to search this area. So I'm gonna go down to the lower area with the torch. This corpse always seems to be here, and usually a lantern is right next to it, but not this time. Not on Interloper. So again, I'm just searching. I didn't find anything. My torch is already gone. So I found a couple of things. I think I found another sewing kit. Maybe you gotta put the torch away. There you go. Yeah, I found another torch on the floor. But nothing special. So now, because it's still dark, I'm just gonna try to pass the time doing productive things. Cooking water. If I can make some teas, make teas. Eventually I just want to pass the time because pretty much at dawn. So now, just waiting that extra hour, I can now see and do a proper search of the area. I did find an extra flare. So I got a refund. Now you can barely see, you probably can't even see, but I was able to see well enough. I went to the safe and cracked it open, and I just found a book. Just a book. I was stunned. So I said, you know what? Just keep it. Just keep it. I went back to searching. So that's pretty much what I found. These I already had. The feathers I already had. I found a bunch of spray paint, some sewing kits. I think just the one. The other one I brought from the lake house. And more spray paint. So it's just doing a little inventory management. I found some water purification pills, so that's why I was okay picking up that non-potable water. That'll save some fire. It looks like I found an extra accelerant, but that's it. I didn't find any food. If I did find food, I think I ate it on the spot. So I wasn't able to search all of the this area back here with the torch back when it was night. So now that it's day, I'm coming back here and doing a proper sweep. And just looking high and low. Managed to find a scarf. And then underneath these stairs, find a hacksaw. So that's pretty good. Now I'm able to harvest those frozen corpses. Get some meat. And then I continue my search. Backpack, empty. Found a soda. I'm gonna save that for later. Special treat. And then I decide to go outside. So out here, along this right hand side, there's a chance for a corpse. And down below me, down at the river, there's a wolf. There's always a wolf. And rabbits. So the wolf usually gets the rabbit. Pretty much safe up here though. If you're fast enough, what you could do is go down and throw some rocks at the wolf, pick up the rabbit. But I don't take that chance. Also, I didn't warm up fully, so really I'm just going to check this corpse. Kind of finicky to get up the rock, but there's also a backpack. Empty, of course, and nothing on the corpse. So just outside the door there's two of these metal bins. They're empty. And the door locks behind you. There's no handle, there's no way to open it, so you have to go around. I pick up that scrap metal for some reason. I'll never use it. But it makes me feel good. It's not a tricky walk, you just hug the wall. There's Mr. Wolf. And to the left of the river, as I'm facing it right now, there's a little clearing with a chance for either another corpse or a container. I think there's more rabbits. So it's actually worth killing that wolf if you have the means. Now on the other side there's a deer carcass. It doesn't have much meat, but it does have some meat. And then in these tubes, there's a little container. I just spy it right there. I would harvest that carcass. I think I check it just to look at the timers. But it's too cold. I don't have a bedroll. So there's no place for me to sleep here. And inside the dam, unless you have really good clothing, it's cold. So you're just constantly losing warmth, and eventually your health condition starts to go down. So by this point, there's no way I can harvest this. Even though it's 12 minutes, that's actually pretty quick. But I decide to just leave it because it's going to be there. Check the empty backpack. Some reclaimed wood. Then just go back inside. I missed that pot lid earlier, or that pot. But all this is searched, so I just head back to the entrance to the dam. Do a little bit of inventory management. I didn't find anything, just that pot, and I think well, that's it. The reclaimed wood and the scrap metal. So I need to sleep. The only bed is in these little trailers. So that's where I'm heading now. Wolf still there? That's what I should have done the first time. So I should have gone to the other trailer, but because I think the beds over there are warmer. So I'm going to treat myself. Or am I? Nope. I'm going to spend time repairing my clothing. I brought the sewing kits and all the cloth that I was able to find. And I pass the time doing that and eventually go for a long nap. So that's my 3 days. 3.5 days. And I wake up to another Aurora. So I'm thinking The weather is nice. It's still cold, but it's not blowing harsh winds. And all the lights inside the dam are on right now. So I'm thinking I go out and get that deer, harvest some of that meat, because I'm out of food. You can see I'm in the red there. So here I am making my way through the dam. See those sparks down there? That's right. There's very little warning. When the Aurora is on and you try to go through the dam, some of the wiring on the floor is electrified. And it'll hurt you and kill you, like, very quickly. The elevators work, apparently. So I'm stunned right now. I'm just sitting here staring at these numbers. Because I didn't know that was a mechanic in the game. But you have to use the elevators to go around that little choke point. And you can get trapped on the elevators. If you're on the elevator and suddenly the Aurora ends, you're stuck there. But that's my run. Most successful run so far. Hopefully you learned something. Had a good time watching it. I'll see you in the next one.